Kentucky!
Starting on March 15, 2005, Sonichu the Electric Hedgehog Pokemon, the horrifying product of notorious overweight man-child Chris Chan's feeble, autistic jelly of a brain, is a webcomic hybrid of the two already established video game characters of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu. Was published on the internet, with the sole intention of scarring the minds of the uninitiated masses, and forever searing the crayon-rendered terror into the widened retinas of the innocent. Over the years, Chris's webcomic has served as a medium through which he reinvents his experiences in real life. These events include his adventures at the local mall, where he is accompanied by his imaginary friend Sonichu and ambushed by Jerkos, a portmanteau of jerk and cop. Most of his rage and artistic inspiration comes from the fact that he was arrested for being a creepy fucking stalker at the mall, and resisting arrest. The comic's plots center around Chris, Sarah, a former female friend that shared a platonic relationship with him, and her villainous girl-stealing boyfriend, people gaining the ability to transform into hedgehogs, elderly people getting killed, depictions of Sonichu and Rosechu fucking, and a failed attempt at Loli. The comic's main characters were Sonichu, a Pikachu/Sonic hybrid, and CWC, who for some reason is Sonichu's father. Since Sonichu is supposed to be 18, this results in them born within 10 years of each other. Supporting roles consist primarily of electric hedgehogs who pretty much hang around having sex the entire time. Eventually, Chris stole the spotlight by making himself the comic's main character, and now the entirety of the comic focuses on him and all of his personal predispositions. He writes himself as being idolized as a god by all of his hedgehog friends who, throughout the comic, assist him in the endeavors of his love quest. The comic takes elements from all of the following, all meshed together with Chris' creativity. Issue number 0. Super Sonic accidentally a Pikachu while fighting a blue tentacle monster, and somehow shits out Sonichu and Rosechu. The two meet and immediately fall in OMG true love. Back in CWville, Sonichu fights Nate Sirk, who has kidnapped Rosechu, totally original, right? But easily kicks his ass because he's a Pokemon playing F-word, just like Chris Chan himself. Issue number 1. Nate Sirk, Dr. Eggman, and Giovanni create a Sonichu clone for no good reason, but some dumbfuck scientist spills cherry cola on it and turns it into a N-word. Blacku/Black Sonichu/whatever is sent on a mission to kidnap Rosechu, succeeds at first, then predictably gets his ass kicked when Sonichu and his F-word knockoff Sonic decide to team up. Issue number 2. Chris Chan and Sonichu fulfill an Anko and Cherokee prophecy so that Chris can change into a Furfig along with Sarah Hammer and her boyfriend Wes Iselli. Wes tries to cap Chris Chan but is punned by Sarah, who promptly breaks up with him. Chris has hopes of getting it on with Sarah, but this never happens. For no apparent reason, some gigantic rock monster controlled by Mary Lee Walsh tries to destroy CWville. The trio kick its ass using their awesome Furfig powers. Unfortunately, Chris Chan fails to die during the battle. Issue number 3. Chris Chan shits out another 5 useless Sonichu recolors, each based on another Pokemon and having unique traits: Wild Sonichu, Bubbles Rosechu, Angelica Rosechu, Punchy Sonichu, and Magi Chan Sonichu. Blacku, like the N-word he is, steals a sunstone or something from a bird furry living on a floating island that is totally not Angel Island or anything. The 5 recolors meet and form the chaotic combo, who team up with Sonichu to go lynch Blacku. Then they talk about teamwork or some shit. On a side note, Chris Chan managed to keep his fat ass out of the comic, which, after Christian's health and ego began to further deteriorate, was no longer a possibility. Issue number 4. In this issue, Chris Chan whines about how he can't get any and how the Jerkos are keeping him from having a girlfriend. He then puts on his fursuit to go fight some famous black mall cop, and tries to kill him by shouting "Curse Yehami-ha." Then, he chronicles how he got his heart broken by an epic troll who asked him out on a date, and bitches at Mary Lee Walsh for doing her job. Chris Chan's ears turn into wings, allowing him to defeat her. He somehow creates a female clone of himself called Crystal, who also turns into another fucking Sonichu, only this time she's a sailor soldier too. Some other shit happens, but no one cares because there are not many lults to be had in this issue. Issue number 5. Chris Chan decides his comic isn't kawaii enough for his new true love Megan, so he decides to weeboo it up by giving everyone anime shiny DESUIs. Chris's best friend Sarah gets married to a UGIO character, but Wes comes back to fuck everything up. Chris has to get Megan to save the day for him. Meanwhile, the Jerkos are cock-blocking everyone in CWville, so Chris and his legion of recolors have to save the day. Crystal gets locked in a dark mirror for some reason, and Megan cries in Chris's arms, which everyone knows will never happen in real life. Issue number 6. Chris's dog died. Rather than be a www like any other normal person, he makes her yet another shitty character in his shitty comic. The multiple Sonichu recolors have to search for the mystical super special awesome Sonichu Pokeball crystals, which are OMG so not the Chaos Emeralds or the Dragon Balls or anything. For some reason Blacku and a green Sonichu show up. The green Sonichu is revealed to be Redel Nasi not so Natsir Khatek or something and also has a thing for BDSM. Of course, Chris Chan sucks dick, so he almost gets defeated, but Bionic the Hedgehog, surprisingly, not a Sonichu, but almost as bad, saves his sorry ass. Issue number 7. Chris Chan and some of his recolors travel back in time to get one of the Sonichu Pokeball crystals. For some reason, Chris Chan threw a shitty Family Guy-esque episode in there, featuring a version of himself that looks like Peter. He then proceeds to get completely lost in time, thank God. Meanwhile, everyone Chris hates teams up to try and rape him. Issue number 8. This issue was apparently created to retaliate against 4CHAN for making Chris look like the idiot he is. Rosechu and Sonichu have gratuitous amounts of sex before setting off to try and convince 4cent, garbage.com, run by the devil himself, to take down pictures revealing Rosechu's true nature as a dick girl. After the owner throws a pickle at Rosechu, she unleashes the fucking fury and crushes his head with her vagina. Also contains Chris's personal stash of furry yip porn. Meanwhile, Chris Chan is still trapped in a swirling time vortex, so instead of rescuing him, his legion of recolors decides to go to the beach. Some whore named Sylvana shows up and fucks Blacku, Blake, while pretending to be Bubbles. Meanwhile, Bubbles goes to search for the last Pokeball crystal thing then comes back and almost fucks Sylvana, who's pretending to be Blake, but ends up punning her instead. Issue number 9. All of CWC's characters who haven't been romantically partnered yet have to take a dating class because apparently they do not know how to shot semen. Chris still fails to get a girlfriend, so he takes the class too. Only divine intervention is able to hook him up with a girl named Ivy. After more, albeit implied, creepy furry sex, Rosechu panty shots, and Sonichu whining about people who think Chris is gay, Mary Lee Walsh tries to fuck up CWCville again. She sends a bunch of ripped-off robots from Transformers to kill them all. Chris Chan's merry band of retards and recolors have to stop fucking each other in the ass for once and defeat Mary Lee Walsh /Sloyal Riam / whatever the hell her name is now with the power of LOEV. 1. The real Chris Chan eventually shows up in Sonichu form. He promptly gets his ass kicked and Sonichu rescues Rosechu. The multicolored retards eventually win out and peace returns to CWCville once more. In the epilogue, Chris finally gets back from the time void he's been trapped in for, 3 issues? And promises not to feature himself in his own comics anymore. We can trust that he'll keep his word. Also, Sonichu and Rosechu apparently got married and spawned 3 cute Sonichu babies. Please, make it stop. Issue number 10. As expected, Chris is back for yet another issue despite his promise that the comic would focus only on his retarded creations. He finally escapes from the time warp. Again, and reveals that he traveled to the future and got it on with some chick named Lovely Weather. Chris, in an astounding show of scientific knowledge and political correctness, has single-handedly isolated the gene that makes people gay and plans to put a vaccine in the water supply to make everyone not gay. He goes to get his stuff out of storage, but his storage unit, hosted by Tripod, has been infested with bugs that look like naked women with green hair and huge tits. You can't make this shit up. Tim Burton couldn't make this shit up. Anyway, having retrieved all his crap, Chris goes and dismantles 4CHAN through the power of RAWK, then turns his arch-nemesis Redna Nazi, whatever the fuck straight with some sort of straight vaccine. With the world on the path to being completely straight once and for all, Chris expresses his desire to fuck Meg Griffin, who's actually the comic's resident dick girl, Sylvana, in disguise. Having defeated the trolls for now, Chris and Sonichu go off to right more wrongs. Unfortunately, they don't destroy the comic to this end, but instead power up a lot over 9,000. They save Chris's sister clone thing, rescue the EMO kid's girlfriend from being asleep forever, destroys THEXBAWKS for Ivar, get some other Sonichu to worship Chris, not like they already don't, save homeless Rosechu recolors and old Rastafarians, free the Jerkos, and sends Sloyal Riam to jail for life. Chris kills off one of his stolen character to dodge guilt and blames it on someone else. The killers get sentenced to death and are brutally slashed, stabbed and shot to death by Chris and his Sonichu. No one cares. Issue number 11. Finally, Chris finished issue 11. At least, so we think. The comic features an art style of even lower quality, but it still resembles Chris's, so it could have just been him being lazy. Considering that the wiki sysop of CWCpedia uploaded the pages, this is likely. He got trolled by his own sysop. It features the same retarded typos, same stupid, rambling dialogue, and the same as you can see here life lesson attempts. However, the issue's events may surprise some people. It starts with Sonichu and Rosechu eating breakfast while talking about how much they enjoyed their midnight sex, right in front of their children. When they ask what a 7-inch lightning rod is, Sonichu says that he'll show them. Chris then has a rant on why Sonichu isn't an incestuous, bisexual pedophile for this. Meiji-chan calls Sonichu, saying that Sloyal captured Bubbles and Angelica and has them trapped in a shopping mall. Chris, Wild, Meiji-chan, and the CWCville Power Rangers arrive on scene. Meanwhile, Reginald shows his penis to Sonichu's kids, and Rosechu yells at him for it. Apparently, Angelica stopped constantly banging Reginald. Rosechu immediately forgives him, and then makes him leave. Reginald develops lust for Rosechu. Chris makes a rant about how Rosechu is virtuous for not fucking with Reginald. Switch back to Sonichu, having defeated the Jerkos. Sloyal throws pickles at him, but Sonichu pimp slaps her, which somehow kills her. However, Wild and Sonichu see the Walmart explode. Meiji-chan informs them that Angelica and Bubbles died in the explosion. This is where Chris creating this becomes doubtful. Switch to Sandy, who jaywalks while listening to music, and gets run over by a driver who's texting and driving. Wild learns that she died immediately. Depressed over the death of his daughter, only a month after his wife died, Wild tried to get the driver locked up forever. He can't, however, as Sandy was jaywalking. Wild, fed up with the city's shitty judicial system, commits suicide. Meanwhile, the lesbian Spanish nanny calls Sonichu, telling him that all of his kids drank some drain cleaner. Only Sarah survived, and she has permanent brain damage. The cost for her medical care is ridiculously high, upsetting Sonichu. Rosechu suggests getting Chris to help, but Sonichu says that he's too busy with video games and the wallflower, Chris' girlfriend that left him IRL a month or two ago. We learn that Chris has all but disappeared from society, hold you in his house. Sonichu turns to drinking, and has sexual fantasies about Angelica. Rosechu smothers Sarah with a pillow, and pretends that she stopped breathing by herself. Sonichu divorces her anyway, and Rosechu reveals that she always hated being married to him. Chris makes a final rant about careless actions and unsafe sex, before revealing that issue 12 will be a reboot. The events of this comic leave Punchy, Blake, the Transformer clones, 2 of the CWCville Power Rangers, Meiji-chan, Chris, the Lesbo Spanish nanny, and pretty much every character based from IRL people, except Sloyal Riam, still living.